We're here back in the Fantasy Bar. 6 plays for you for week 13 on Yahoo, including some of my favorite mid-range and value plays, what game I'm stacking up, where can we find some leverage this week, and of course, my favorite play of the week. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Week 13 edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack, talking some Yahoo with 6 of my favorite plays. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the video. Now, before we get into things, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel here. Also, the special offer for you over on Yahoo in the description of the video. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of that, and also taking advantage of this overlay, $200,000 in free money added to the prize pool by Yahoo. So go check it out today. No maintenance fee on this baller tournament. You cannot beat that. You don't see it every day. Take advantage while we still have it. And let's get into the plays here for week 13 on Yahoo. Let's start at the wide receiver position with Jaylen Waddle, $21. So Waddle been a monster here of late for Miami. We talk about how they're missing targets. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller. Waddle has really stepped up here and ignited that connection with his college quarterback. Tua, 8 or more targets now in 6 of the last 7 games. We're talking 8 or more catches as well in 3 of the last 4. So the production really starting to ramp up here for Jaylen Waddle. The Giants bottom 12 in the league as far as touchdowns allowed and fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position. So Miami starting to play some better ball, playing with more confidence here. Love Jaylen Waddle in the spot this week at just $21. All right, let's go to the other side of that game. Not the prettiest game on the board, but I think there's some nice correlations we can make with running back Saquon Barkley, just $20. So the first thing that stood out on this was the price. I mean, we're getting a great buy low opportunity here on Saquon Barkley. Second time this season, he has been just $20. Let's take advantage of it here this week against Miami. Now, you know, a lot of people, all they're looking at those box scores, and Barkley, it's been a struggle. They're kind of easing him back into things. We see the big play, though. We see the explosive run last week. We know it's still in there. I think the recency bias is going to be very real here with some other good running back plays on the board. Barkley probably going to come in a lot lower owned than he should. Now, Miami been solid against running backs, but there are a few holes here. Bottom half of the league in rushing yards allowed and touchdowns allowed to this position. So with Mike Glennon under center, I think you see more targets for Saquon Barkley. I think the workload is going to be higher here. If we get a competitive game, we can blow this $20 salary out of the water. All right, let's go to tight end here. Save some money. Not the sexiest name here, but we're going to go all the way to the bottom with James O'Shaughnessy of the Jaguars. Now, we know this Jacksonville tight end role. They're not big names. Dan Arnold was not a big name, but has been very productive in this role. He is now out for the season, and I think O'Shaughnessy going to step in and provide you some value here as well. Now, are there better tight end plays? Absolutely. You can spend up on the George Kittles, the Kyle Pitts of the world, but let's try to save some money here with O'Shaughnessy. So first thing, underdogs. We know going out to LA, Jacksonville gonna have to throw the ball a ton in this matchup. Almost 2 touchdown underdogs here, so the target should certainly be there. Trevor Lawrence loves to throw to the tight end early in his career. That's his security blanket right now. We saw it with Arnold, and I think we're going to continue to see it here with O'Shaughnessy and the Rams. Great defense, no doubt, but have struggled with tight end. 7th most catches so far to that position. So again, not the sexiest name here, but we can go down to $10, spend up elsewhere. It's certainly something I want to do in a bunch of my lineups this week with James O'Shaughnessy. All right, let's go get some leverage here. Let's go to Indianapolis, and we're going to go with the quarterback, Carson Wentz, $23. Now, no doubt, Jonathan Taylor is in a fantastic spot. In fact, he could easily be the beast of the week here in the video, but if he's going to be very highly owned, I'm not calling him a bad play. In fact, I think he's a phenomenal play. But when ownership starts to get up there on some of these guys, let's take a look at the passing game here with Carson Wentz. 20 or more Yahoo points now in 4 of the last 6, 3 touchdown passes in 3 of those games. And we know this matchup, not only good for Jonathan Taylor, this matchup good for this entire offense. Indianapolis with a 28-point projected team total. So 4 touchdowns can't all come from Taylor. Hell, maybe they do. But I think Carson Wentz has a big day here at pretty low ownership in a great matchup with the Houston Texans. So we like Carson Wentz, who's our pairing partner. Easy for me. Wide receiver Michael Pittman, $22. So even with the return of T.Y. Hilton and Jack Doyle having big games, we know this is the number one receiver in this offense. 10 targets once again last week against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, hasn't done much here in the last couple weeks. And again, we're going to see some recency bias here. The people looking at game logs, they're going to be afraid to pull the trigger here on Michael Pittman. Plus, the leverage we talked about with Carson Wentz applies here as well. That's going to keep ownership to a minimum for a team with a massive team total. I think that's a big mistake here if we are going to ignore this passing game. Houston, bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed. 2 wide receivers over the last month. Take advantage here with Michael Pittman, just $22. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play on Yahoo. But before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Week contest, free to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and get fantasy points on Yahoo for my favorite play of the week. The closest guess will win themselves a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. That's right, we'll send one right to you. Softest t-shirt I've ever worn. So let's take a look. My favorite play for week 13 on Yahoo. You know him as Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back. We're going with running back Elijah Mitchell of the Niners, this week's Beast of the Week. So Mitchell been an absolute workhorse. I know he's been in and out of that lineup, but when he's been healthy, he's been the unquestioned leader of this backfield. We're talking 54 carries over the last 2 weeks. Saw 6 targets in that game last week as well. So really rounding into an all-around workhorse running back, and that price has ticked up. I don't think it's gone high enough here. We also have kind of an under-the-radar injury with Deebo Samuel here as far as Mitchell's concerned. We know Deebo starting to get some carries. Those end around the red zone, going to steal touches. He doesn't have to contend with that this week. So I think you're going to see another very hefty workload here for Eli Mitchell in a fantastic matchup. Seattle been horrendous against the running back position. We saw it once again the other night against Washington. Antonio Gibson looked about the best we've seen all season long. I think this could be the best game we get out of Eli Mitchell. Just $27 easily. My favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that wraps up for 6 of my favorite plays on Yahoo. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and hanging out in the fantasy bar. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points for Eli Mitchell on Yahoo for your shot at a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. Also, let me know who your favorite play of the week is. Who's your Beast of the Week? Sound off in that comment section. Guys, don't forget, special offer on Yahoo. The link in the description of the video. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. Tons of overlay over on Yahoo. Don't want to miss out on that. And head over to scoresandodds.com/beer for all of your sports betting needs. That link also in the description. For rotogrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Best of luck here on Yahoo. Make sure you're checking out my FanDuel and DraftKings video as well. 6 more plays for you over there. Best of luck this week. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.